I'm Andy with Competitive Cyclist, and this is the SRAM Red eTap group. So, you're here because you're thinking about an electronic groupo. I'm here to tell you why SRAM's revolutionary wireless eTap group is the equivalent of a race-winning breakaway that no one in the peloton has the legs to follow. They may be 2 generations late to the electronic shifting party, but eTap is already on equal footing with top-shelf EPS and Di2 in every way. However, from a daily drive, build, maintenance, and convenience standpoint, it's light years ahead. The big disruptor here is SRAM's new Area wireless protocol. It's a proprietary spread spectrum frequency that uses 128-bit encryption and spits out a new and unique line of code each time an eTap group is paired. Area was tested extensively in early 2015, and it got its passing grade in the Tour of California after facilitating over 750,000 perfect shifts in a field littered with power meters, head units, smartphones, team radios, motorbikes, and helicopters. Beyond that, SRAM's durability yielded 1.7 million shifts before it wore down. 1.7 million. That's 4,657 shifts a day for a year. If you ride 10 hours a week and shift every minute for every hour you ride, that's just over 31,000 shifts per year. At that rate, your new eTap group could last over 50 years before the electronic components wear down. The control tower for eTap is the levers. Overall, they're a bit smaller than the mechanical version, and they remind me of the days of bikes with shifters on the down tubes and brake-only levers on the bars. It was a bit of an adjustment at first, but over time, I grew to really like how minimal they are. And the carbon on the eTap levers is much stiffer than the mechanical version. Under high speed and hard emergency braking, they deliver the most positive feedback I've experienced with SRAM brakes, and there's a near perfect degree of modulation and control at other speeds. When it comes to shifting eTap, the equation is simple. The right paddle moves the chain to the right. The left one moves it to the left. Hit them both at the same time, and you're moving between your big and small ring in a fraction of a second. The shift paddles are roughly the same size as their mechanical brothers, and since they give both tactile and audible feedback, you still feel the shift with your fingers and hear it with your ears. Once I got on the other side of the learning curve, which is about 10 rides, I always found the right gear, and I found it fast. And if you'd prefer a few more shifting options, you can add up to 2 of SRAM's blips on each side. They're not wireless, but SRAM offers a few different cable lengths, and you can put them just about anywhere. I mounted mine under the tape on the right drop and used a strip of 3M VHB adhesive to affix the other to the bar top on the left side. SRAM also offers blip clips if you'd prefer something a little cleaner. The blips were pretty tough to push at first, but over time the rubber broke in nicely, and now they have a much lighter touch. I don't use the bar top blip much, but on a fast, technical descent, I couldn't keep my hands off the one on my drop, and I'll probably add another one to the left drop as well. The front and rear derailleurs still have all of SRAM's greatest hits. Ceramic pulleys and a carbon cage in the back, and the very slick anti-trim yaw shifting with a stiff aluminum and steel cage up front. That's what's on the outside, but it's what's on the inside that makes installation and setup take about as long as an episode of your favorite sitcom. Once you put the parts on your frame and bars, simply push the function buttons and wait for the LEDs to blink quickly, and you're quite literally almost done. From there, you can use the function buttons on the levers in concert with the paddles to fine-tune the rear derailleur, even while you're on the bike. So once the bike's out of the stand, if you start to get a little chain skip here and there, you don't have to stop, get off, reach for a barrel adjuster, get back on, pedal, and repeat the process 2 or 3 times until the skipping resolves. Nope, just squeeze both buttons as you pedal, and eTap will trim the rear derailleur 0.2 of a millimeter up or down depending on which lever you use. Oh, and a side note from the guy who's built 4 bikes with internally routed mechanical groups in the past year, eTap is a dream. It cut an hour of frustration and fishing for cables off this build. It literally took me longer to install the tires and tubes on the wheels than it took me to pair the components and dial in my shifting. Another thing that makes building a bike with eTap exponentially easier is the Derailleur batteries. While the shifters are powered by the same CR2032 batteries you find in your HR strap or computer, the Derailleur batteries are external, light, small, and easy to remove. And they're 100% interchangeable. They take 45 minutes to charge, and a full charge will last between 15 and 60 hours. When they get low, the LEDs on the derailleurs change from green to red, and they blink red when they're critically low. But the best thing is this. If you're like me and you always forget to charge stuff, you can carry emergency batteries in your jersey pocket or even just leave one in your saddlebag. You can also flip the front and rear derailleur batteries in an emergency because the front derailleur typically sees less use and will have more of a charge left. You couldn't do this if your battery pack was jammed inside the seat tube or stuffed into the frame somewhere. Oh, and in the nice to have department, SRAM has updated the graphics on the crankset to match the rest of eTap's minimal design. I wasn't a big fan of the previous red crank and big ring, so this is a little change that makes a big difference to me because a beautiful crank is the centerpiece of a carefully curated bicycle, and this one's gorgeous. So the question is, what's it gonna set me back? Well, the good news is this. If you already have a Red, Force, or Rival 11-speed group, then the eTap levers and derailleurs are 100% compatible with the parts that are on your bike right now. That means you're about $1,600 away from going wireless. A complete eTap group is in the $2,900 range, which is $400 less than record EPS and $1,000 less than super record EPS. Even for the most brand loyal campophile, eTap is a strong contender. It's currently $600 more than Dura-Ace 9000, which is a dilemma right up until the moment when your Di2 battery dies 20 miles from home, or you miss a shift at the wrong moment because the buttons on the levers are a little too close together. Truth be told, I'm a SRAM guy, and I have been since Red, but I've been underwhelmed by SRAM's top shelf group since they came out with the new Red and then Red 22. As a result of that, I'm pretty jaded, and it takes a lot to get me excited about something new for my bike. But eTap changes everything. For me, it's the cycling equivalent of the new iPhone. It's the Tesla Model 3. eTap is so good that I'd probably be willing to camp out overnight just so I could show up to my next group ride with the most stare-worthy bike. If you have any questions about eTap, please give us a call or send us an email at sales@competitivecyclist.com.